Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the Introducing Prospector Plus webinar. I'm Kristen Summer, one of the system trainers here with MetroList, and also joining me on the call today is our awesome senior systems trainer, Melissa Backey. Hey, Melissa. Together, Melissa and I are going to walk you through this new Prospector Plus system that we have been talking about for quite some time, and we're all so excited about. The Prospector Plus system is going to really expand your business opportunities. Melissa's going to speak to that in just a moment. But with that said, we'll also walk you through some new searching and listing fields as well. We would love to take this opportunity, in addition, to offer some helpful resources to assist you with the Prospector Plus transition. So look on the right-hand side of your screen for those engaging questions, those links. And if you have any questions directly for us throughout the training, please do ask those. We will be more than happy to get those answered for you. Be a little patient with us as we're training and answering questions simultaneously. But our goal is that after the training today, you have a good understanding of what Prospector Plus is and how it's going to help expand your business opportunities. All right, so with that said, you guys, I'm going to kick it off to Melissa. She's going to get us started on what is Prospector Plus.
Thanks so much, Kristen. So let's go ahead and get into our presentation. So just to spin off of what Kristen was saying, Prospector Plus is going to allow you to seamlessly search, list, and do CMAs across 22 counties, which is so incredible. As you can see here, these are the expanded search areas to our left. So let's get into the itinerary of what we're going to be covering today. So as we introduce Prospector Plus to you, we're going to speak to the expanded listing areas. I'm also going to be jumping into searching. I'm going to show you some of the new search fields, also some tips and tricks in searching, including the one-line grid, your map search, and your hot sheet. Kristen's going to take you into listing. She's going to show you the new listing input page, and also she's going to speak to some of the newly required listing input fields. We'll then go ahead and wrap up with your Prospector Plus resources. This is located in the MetroList Information Center, and these are going to be great resources and tools for you after the webinar ends today. So let's go ahead and jump into searching. Here we are on the Prospector Plus homepage. You can see it has the same look and feel. You're going to get that throughout the training today. So let's jump into searches and let's go into our standard search. So as you can see, looks the same as it did before with, a few modifications here. So let me go ahead and point those out. You're going to notice that there are going to be some new and relabeled fields. So I want to show those to you. So as we can see, we have some new property types. We have residential lease and commercial lease. You're going to also see some new property subtypes as well. So let's scroll down and look at some more fields. You'll see here we have a relabeled field area and districts. As I scroll down a bit further, you'll notice partial bathrooms, living area, which used to be called square footage. So you're going to see that has been relabeled. I'm going to go down a bit further and you'll see sub-districts right here. And down below that, you'll also see buyer agent ID and buyer office ID. We have public and also private remarks. So let's go ahead and run a search, and I also want to share a really great tip on a display format called the one-line grid. So let's go back up to the top. Right now our criteria, we're going to go ahead and just search residential property. I'm not going to select any property subtypes today. We're going to look at active properties. And let's go ahead and search by our area and districts field. So I'm going to click on the lookup icon here. And I'm going to go right in and we're going to search by a few counties and select some areas or districts. So I'm going to do Contra Costa here and San Francisco. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to select a few areas. So let's select Danville, love Danville, and I'm going to scroll down here and we are going to look at San Francisco District 1. I'll click OK. Now I'm going to do a preview count. You'll see we're going to take a look at 55 listings. Now, just in case you're wondering, your maximum number of properties you can view at one time is 500. Now, I could add more criteria, but for training purposes today, we're going to go ahead and leave it as is. So let's view results. So here we are in our search results page. And my primary format for searching my search results is the one-line grid. As you can see here, we have some fields that have been relabeled. I have private remarks, and private remarks used to be called agent-only remarks. Parking feature used to be called recreational parking description. What I want to show you today is how to add a few more fields to your one-line grid to enhance your searching experience. So first things first, we must be in the one-line grid display format. Then what we can do is we can go ahead and navigate to this button here that says Customize Grid. So I'm going to click on that. So you're going to notice along the left, these are the available residential fields. Along the right are the selected fields. How these show from top to bottom is exactly how they're going to display from left to right on your one-line grid. Now, on your grid, you can have up to 30 fields in your display. So I want to show you some of my favorite fields to add to the one-line grid. One is showing instructions. Showing instructions really goes hand in hand with your agent-only remarks, and showing instructions has been relabeled. It used to be called showing instructions, DESC, or description. And so what we're going to do is we're going to choose that new field to add, and it's just called showing instructions. Now you'll notice these available residential fields are in alphabetical order, so I have quite a bit of scrolling to do, so I apologize for the quick scrolling. Just bear with me here. So let's go ahead and we're going to get down here to the S's. Almost there. And here we go. So how do I select this field to add it to the right? So I'm going to click on this gray tab to the left of the field name. Then I find the easiest way to add that to the right is to go ahead and slide over here and select the area I want it slid into. I'm going to then go ahead and click add, and you'll see it's going to add right at that spot. So I'm going to click there, and you'll see now showing instructions appears along the right. Now, if I wanted to move that down or up, I could absolutely do so. If there is any field on your one-line grid that you want to remove, you have that option. Just beware of the remove all button, okay? Because you're going to have to start again. So let me show you another new field that is really going to help as you search Prospector Plus across boundaries. So I'm going to scroll down, and we are going to, actually I'm going to scroll up, and we're going to find another field. And this field is called MLS Origin. So here, let's go ahead, and again, I'm going to left click here. And I'm gonna plug it right in here. It's gonna be next to the listing number, and I'm gonna click add. Now, the last one I want to speak to, because I really love this one, is the thumbnail primary picture, and you can see in brackets it says photo. Initially, some of you may not have this on your one-line grid. It is not a system-wide default unless you've added it previously. So please keep your eyes peeled for it along the left if you've not added it, and add it, because you can view up to 99 listing photos. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click save here, and you'll see that's located at the very upper left-hand corner of the page. Then I'm going to go back to list. Now, what you're going to see is, well, now I can see where this listing originated from. So you can see here, San Francisco Association of Realtors, MLS listings. So that is a great field to add as you're searching multi-regionally. You'll see here I already had the thumbnail photo added, but if I click on this, now look, I can actually see up to 99 photos in a gallery view. So I can go ahead and scroll through these. I'm going to go ahead and close here in the upper left. Here's that new field showing instructions, and let me show you something. I can actually go ahead and size these. I'm just left clicking and dragging. And I can also organize by showing instructions, ascending or descending. And as you can see here, text Bruce, super box on front door, and those really go hand in hand with your private remarks. So that was a little bit about searching your relabeled search fields. You're searching across boundaries, and your one-line grid tip with some of those relabeled fields. Remember to add the showing instructions, to add private remarks, the thumbnail picture if you don't have it, MLS origin. The one-line grid is such a great tool that is absolutely going to help you when trying to find your client that perfect property. Next, we're going to go ahead and go into your interactive map search. So we'll go to searches and interactive map. All right, so here we are in our interactive map search. Now, I want to show you how to search multi-regionally within the map search. You can see my map is defaulted to kind of this Vacaville, Davis area. You can actually set your map to your farm or market area so that it displays in the same way every time you pull up the interactive map search. I love it. It's so helpful. So if you'd like to do that, you can drag and pan the map just like you saw I was doing, or you can center this on a listing number or location, whether that's a city, a listing number like it states here, or a particular address. Now, if you want to set this as your default area, you can go to the More button, and you'll just set this default map. That is an awesome little tip I love to share. And now every time I come to this map search, it's going to show this exact location here. So let's say here that I want to go ahead and I want to do a multi-regional search. I'm going to be searching across boundaries. I can absolutely do that. So I'm going to go ahead and click draw here. And I have lots of tools to choose when I am drawing on the map. I'm going to go ahead and use this freeform shape. You can see it looks like a pencil, so I'm going to click on that. Now I'm going to go ahead and left click. I'm holding down my left mouse button, and let's say this between Vacaville and Davis, that is where my client was saying that they would like to live. Or maybe you're doing a search multi-regionally for, maybe a CMA is on the border of a few counties. Again, absolutely can do that. Now I have my default set up to not show my results until I click this little button here, show results. You can see it's kind of a mustard color. I'm going to click on that, and now I see those 75 listings. Now, let's go ahead and jump into search criteria. I love showing you guys how to customize search criteria. It really is helpful when you're trying to find a client, a particular property. By customizing it, it can make you much quicker at searching. So let me show that to you. If I go here to search criteria, I can absolutely go here, and this is my search criteria form. Of course, maybe I want to go and add more parameters to my search or whatnot. These are the fields currently that I have selected to be able to search by. Well, maybe I want to modify that. Maybe I want to add some of the newly relabeled fields, or I want to reorganize how this is showing. The beautiful thing about this is I always tell agents the search criteria is a combination of general and additional criteria. If you customize it, again, it's going to save you a ton of time while searching and trying to find your client that perfect property. So I want to go here to fields. You'll see when I put my cursor over fields, it turns a mustard color. I'm going to go ahead and add that. And let's add a few fields here. So I can go ahead and start typing the fields that, I want to use for searching. Maybe I want to go ahead, and you can see here, we have gate access code, irrigation. I just want to show you how that works. Maybe I'm going to go ahead and put in heating. I'm going to go ahead and click on that and then hit add. And maybe I also want to put in cooling, so I'm going to go ahead and select that as well. And now you're going to see those are being added here to selected fields. So I can absolutely add as many as I would like to. So you can see here I typed in parking, so maybe I want to do open parking spaces, parking type. You can see some of these fields are new, relabeled. Again, just showing you examples as we're searching for fields to add to our search form. Now, here are the selected fields. Again, how they show from top to bottom. Here's how they're going to display from top to bottom in your search criteria pane once I save out of this. So you can see the fields I just added. They display at the very bottom right here, and we can see the heating and cooling. You can already see I have some parking features, garage space, frontage type. That was a relabeled field. So keep your eyes peeled for those, and absolutely shift them and put them in the order that you would like them to display in for searching. So if I want to move heating and cooling up, look at this. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to maybe move it right above buyer financing. And I'm going to go ahead and move this one up here. I'm just left clicking, and I'm going to click save. Now you're going to see it is going to apply those changes to the search criteria pane here. So if I want to go in and I want to add heating or cooling features to my search, I absolutely can do so right from here. All right, so let's talk about how to get to a search results page from your interactive map. It's something I always like to revisit. I'm going to close out of here, and I want to go to displays. And again, we just talked about the one-line grid, so let's go back into it again, even from the interactive map. I love it. So here I have the one-line grid. And we just customized this, right? And so we have all those new fields, MLS origin, showing instructions, private remarks, parking features. I just wanted to show you how to get to your search results page that we modified a little bit ago. So now again, if I'm, maybe I came here, I did an email, maybe printed out some reports, or, maybe I want to go back and revise my criteria. I can absolutely do so. You're going to see that button here in the upper left-hand side, Revise Criteria, right from here. So that was your interactive map search, doing a multi-regional search and customizing your search criteria. Even showing you a little bit about how to jump back in and see that one-line grid that we just customized a few moments ago in the standard search. All right, so next let's go into searches and let's check out the hot sheet. So you're going to see maximum days back for a hot sheet is 15. So I can do 15 days back, or I could do a date range. What's the difference between these two? Well, date range kind of draws a proverbial line in the sand, if you will. And it allows you to search from a very specific date and time through, well, let's say today's date. Therefore, you don't see the same group of listings twice. So every time you run a search, it's going to lock the current date and time in. And again, so you're not seeing the same changes over and over and over again. Or we can just do days back. So let's say we go ahead and we want to see, well, the last week. Now I'm going to go ahead and leave the changes blank for all. So we're going to see new listings, back on markets, increases, reductions, so on and so forth. So I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to not choose statuses today. For instance, new listings. New listings can be active. New listings could be on hold or temporarily off the market. They could be pending. New listings could be canceled. So if I want to see the actual number of new listings, regardless of status, I'm not going to choose that. It will narrow that number of properties down. So now I'm going to go ahead and let's just do residential, single family residence. And let's go ahead and search by a few areas today. So I'm going to go ahead and select areas and districts. And again, I'm going to scroll down here. And let's say here, I want to go ahead and search in Placer County. And maybe I go ahead and I select an area within Placer County. So I'm going to scroll down and let's go ahead and choose Granite Bay. Now I'm also going to scroll down and maybe I want to, I want to search both of these areas at once, Placer and Napa. And now I'm going to scroll down to Napa County, and let's go ahead and just search in Napa. So I'm going to click OK, and now I have those two areas captured. I have Napa and I have Granite Bay. Now I'm going to do preview count, and let's see how many changes have happened in the last 7 days, the last week for residential property. Well, there's been 79. So hey, let's take a look. So I'm going to hit view results. And you're going to see, look at between those two areas, and you'll see the cities here. I can see 12 new listings. Look, this one's closed and this one is on hold. So again, this is why I did not choose statuses. I have 3 back on markets, 3 price increases, 6 contingents. I have 17 pendings. And again, some of those have closed already. You'll see here, 20 closed. And I'm going to go ahead and go to the next page. There is only 50 properties that will display per page. You can see here I have 14 expired, and this one came back on the market. Look at that. 4 inactives, and that's it. Now, the beautiful thing is I can go in, I can save this or schedule it, and I can run it when I would like. So here, if I decide to save and schedule, look at this. So I can come through here, and maybe I name this a Granite Bay. I'm going to abbreviate that, and Napa. Okay, so if I come here and I click more, maybe I want to do a daily scheduled email, and it is going to give me the last 7 days of the market with the exact parameters I plugged in. Or I could do a weekly email. I can actually not do one at all. So you have an option here. You'll see here you can designate a subject, a start and an end date, the time that it's delivered, and I can send that to myself. I can also send that to additional recipients if I'd like. It's a really great way for you to keep your finger on the pulse of, again, the market. I love your hot sheet. It's great. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of that. I also want to show you again if I revise criteria. Again, I can save and schedule right here from your search screen. So from your general criteria search screen on your hot sheet search, you can absolutely save and schedule. So you have that option right from here. So I wanted to share that with you. All right, so what we covered is we went over your standard search and all those tips and tricks I shared with you. We went over our interactive map search, ran a multi-regional search, and customized our search criteria, which is really helpful and time-saving when you're searching for clients. And then we talked about the hot sheet, that market watch that allows you to search a maximum of 15 days back and really keep your finger on the pulse of the market. Remember, you can save or schedule a hot sheet. So a question I get frequently is, how do I access lockboxes outside of my primary area? Well, if you do not have your key co-opt in the area you're showing properties, then you will need to contact your admin or service center in that area, and they will be able to assist you with cooperating your e-key. In just a moment, we'll touch on resources and a document to assist you.
All right, well, thanks for exploring searching with me. Now I'm going to hand it over to Kristen, and she's going to go through listing with you.
Thank you, Melissa. All right, so let's talk listings in Prospector Plus. Now you're able to seamlessly enter listings across boundaries, all from the Prospector Plus system itself. I'm going to walk you guys through an example of entering a listing outside of the MetroList primary counties, and I'm also going to point out the newly required fields that you'll see when entering a listing in Prospector Plus. Let's go ahead and jump on in. Okay, so here I am on the Prospector Plus homepage, and as Melissa mentioned earlier, it looks, functions pretty much the same. However, with listings, there will be some newly required fields I would love to point out today. So I'm going to walk you guys through entering a listing in Prospector Plus outside of MetroList primary regions. Without having to single sign-on into that individual MLS, I'm now able to do it right from Prospector Plus, which is fantastic. So I'm going to walk you through the workflow for that once more by hovering over listings and selecting Enter New Listing. Here I am on my Select County page, and this is where I'm going to come and select the county that I'd like to enter my listing in today. Today, let's go ahead and select Napa County for this example, and click Continue. Okay. The first step of entering a listing is to enter the APN or address. Now, let me show you a quick shortcut. You're able to search county tax records to pre-fill a lot of the pertinent tax information for you, which will save you so much time. So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to click on Search County Records. And from here, I'm going to start to type in my listing address. And so I'm going to start here with the street number, the street name, and if you know the suffix, go ahead and use the drop-down menu to select that here. From there, I'm in the upper left-hand corner here, click on the search button, and that's going to take me to a page where I can confirm the details for my listing. If everything looks great, I can click on Select to the left of the APN number. And look, I've now pre-filled step 1 here with all of the pertinent tax information. Fantastic. All right, step 2 here is to place pin on map. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. All right. Now, from this point, you want to verify that your map pin placement is correct and accurate. That's to assure that your listing will be able to be found using the map or the radius search. And all looks good here, so the address for this listing has been successfully mapped. It confirms that at the bottom for me. So that means I'm good to go to step 3, which is to listing input. Okay. Now, as promised, I would love to point out the newly required fields for listing input here. I know this page is rather long, so please bear with me while I scroll, but I do want to just lightly touch on these so that you guys are familiar once you're in Prospector Plus. So the first newly required field is going to be senior community, okay? Now, good rule of thumb, you'll notice everything in red is required, everything in black is not required, however, highly suggested so that you get the most exposure for your listing, right? So as I'm looking here, I'm just going to, again, excuse my fast scrolling, but I'd like to scroll to a few fields, again, that are newly required to point out. The first field that is newly required is senior community. Down from that, you'll notice year built is now a newly required field. All right, let's scroll just a little bit more down the screen. Okay, and kitchen features is one of those newly required fields. Down from kitchen features, we will see living room features. That's another newly required field as well. Okay, there it is. All right. Now, main level is also a newly required field. That's going to be just down the page a little bit more. There she is. Main level, you can select up to 8 entries here. Now, electric, scrolling down just a hair more. You guys, again, excuse my fast scrolling here. I know there's a lot of fields to look at. Electric. And then a couple of more. Let's toss in security features. That is a newly required field, so we're going to pan past that field here, security features. And you'll also see lot features. Okay, so keep on scrolling down. There's my lot features field, again, newly required. And last but not least, I'll share with you the last required field here for listings that is newly required will be horse property. Okay. Now these newly required fields will be in effect early February. All right, so again, good rule of thumb here is everything in red is required, but do note that the more you fill in, the more you'll be able to market your property to its fullest potential. All right, so of course, once you get your listing information ready to rock and roll, you can save or submit. And then from there, I want to show you just one more thing, and that's in regards to listing modification. So what happens if you've entered your listing into Metrolist's Prospector system prior to the Prospector Plus transition? Well, you're probably going to want to go in and just verify your listings by going to your Listings tab and view Revise Your Listings. I want you guys to just double check your listings and be sure that you update those listings with any of those newly required fields that you've seen here today. And I can quickly do that by just clicking on, again, Listings, View, Revise Your Listings. You'll see your listings will appear here on this screen. You can click this pencil icon to go in to revise your listing. Okay, and one last thing I would like to add on keybox or lockbox access, and that is that if you are entering your listing into Prospector Plus and it is outside of MetroList primary regions, you will need to be sure that your lockbox is programmed to contain the MLS code in which your listing is located. All right, well, that is listing within Prospector Plus. Melissa, I'm going to send it back to you to cover those resources we spoke to earlier.
Hey, thanks so much, Kristen. Now let's go ahead and jump into the Prospector Plus resources within the MetroList Information Center.
How you'll access those is under here, the MLS links, you're going to see the MetroList Information Center. There's a second way I'd like to show you how to get to that. So we're going to go here under MLS Essentials, and we're going to click on this tile that reads MetroList Prospector Plus. Before we get into the MetroList Information Center, I want to show you a few quick updates and tips to contacts and auto prospecting. So let's go ahead and talk about it. One thing that you'll notice when you first log into Prospector Plus is that you will get this window right here. It's going to show you your invalid prospect searches. What we would really love for you to do is go ahead and click Repair Now, and it will take you into your contact management screen to repair those searches. Let me go ahead and show you how to do that. So I'm going to go here to Contacts, and I'm going to click on Contacts and Prospects. I'm going to go to the group with the invalid searches. So I'm going to go down here, and this is where mine are kept. So here you're going to see any searches in yellow needs to be updated or repaired. So I have the little yield sign that I can actually click on right here. And now this is off-grid homes. This is a standard search. You can see it's turned off, and I'm going to go ahead and repair that search. So once I repair the search, you're going to see this search results page. You're going to see the invalid criteria, and you'll see that it was successfully repaired and the repair criteria that displays below. Just go ahead and double check that. Now if I'd like, I can go ahead and view results or revise criteria for this particular search. So next, what I want to show you are some updates that have occurred to your prospect cart. They're really exciting. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go back to Contacts and Prospects. So let me go ahead, and I'm going to go here to this prospect cart, and I'm going to jump into this 182 newly matched listings for Daisy Duck. All right, what you're going to see here are some new tabs, and these are awesome to use with auto prospecting in the client portal. So I have my newly matched, I have agent recommended, I have saved as I did before. But now I have two new tabs. I have a tab for client rejected, so your clients can go ahead and put the properties in there that they do not desire. And then maybe I'm vetting some properties for my client. I can go ahead and move those properties to agent rejected, so they can differentiate between the ones they reject and the ones that you reject, ensuring that they find the property that they really are going to like the most. Love that new little option here. So when you get a chance, get in and check it out. Before we go into the MetroList Information Center, just a quick little additional tip. Don't forget that if you exported your contacts from one of the single sign-on partners before the conversion, you can import them right here. So, here's another link to the MetroList Information Center. Let's go ahead and click on that. Now, the Information Center is a great resource and guide for you. It has lots of amazing information. If you get a chance, check it out. So let's scroll down And I want to point out a little button here. I talked about this a bit earlier while I was showing you searching. We talked about co-opting your key, and here is some information on how to co-op your key, access map, plus locations. So if you do need to co-op your key so that you can show properties outside of the MetroList primary area, we're going to go ahead and click right here. All right, so here we have the document, and it says Administrative and Service Centers. So here are the administrative and service centers for those areas that you may want to co-op your key in. So you'll see the names of the service centers, you're going to see the addresses and phone numbers. They can absolutely assist you when cooperating your key outside of the MetroList primary regions. All right, so next, let's go into some other Prospector Plus resources. I'm going to scroll up here, and we're going to click here to learn more. So let's go ahead and scroll down, and I want to take a look at some other information. This just speaks to the Prospector Plus expanded data. You can even see the story behind Prospector Plus. If I scroll down a bit further, you're going to see our Prospector Plus benefits. And again, like I said, run a search, hot sheet, or CMA to access listing data and sold information throughout 22 Northern California counties, which is incredible. Plus a lot more. As you can see here, a little bit about how to prepare. Now, what we're really going to take a look at is our post Prospector Plus checklist. So you're going to see here, review listing data of listings to verify that the data was mapped correctly. And here, review listing data of new fields and options to describe your listing more completely. There's even a little link here. And this is going to allow you to read more on moved and relabeled fields. Now, as I scroll down here a bit further, there's some other links that I want to take a look at. We can compare our Prospector Plus legacy to new Prospector Plus fields. This is a great tool to do so. So let's go ahead and click on that. So as it reads here, some Prospector Plus legacy fields have been moved or relabeled. Use this search below to find fields that have been updated. So let's go ahead and search for an amenity or category. How about we'll look at pool. So as you can see here, we have our Prospector Legacy category, our Prospector Legacy amenity, so on and so forth. No, items highlighted in this color will require your attention. So you're going to see in that mustard color, they may require your attention. All right, let's go ahead and look at some other information. Now, Kristen spoke earlier to listing input. Let's go ahead and check out the newly updated profile sheets. So I'm going to click here, and you're going to see the forms and documents will appear, and I'm going to go to listing profile sheets and change forms. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the residential Prospector Plus profile sheet. Now you're going to see all the red required fields, and you'll even see some of those newly required fields that Kristen was speaking to earlier. The profile sheets are very similar as to how they displayed before. As I scroll down, you'll even see the signature lines at the bottom, just like we had previously. All right, I'm going to close out of this. And let's go back. And now I wanted to point out some really great quick links. So here we can see a quick link to the Prospector Plus required fields. There's also a really great little resource link adding the MLS number field to your one-line grid display. This is what we spoke to earlier, and this is what allows you to see which MLS listed a particular property or where that listing is pulling from primarily. You're going to see how to import contacts into Prospector Plus. Now down below here we have some really great training videos. They're short, sweet, to the point. There's a great video on how to prepare for Prospector Plus, one on introducing Prospector Plus, searching and field changes, listing and field changes, and even customizing your one-line grid. Now, one of the last things I wanted to point out to you is this really great little resource here called Frequently Asked Questions. All right, so let's take a look at some of these frequently asked questions. For instance, what will happen to my recent searches? So recent searches will not copy to Prospector Plus due to the various field changes in the Prospector Plus system. However, any searches you run from here on out, you'll be able to see the recent searches for, so you can access those. As I scroll down a bit further, I'm going to go ahead and let's take a look at one I get asked frequently. Will saved searches copy to Prospector Plus? I'll read just a little bit of this. Let me scroll down here. All saved search criteria will copy over and be viewable, including fields that are no longer valid in Prospector Plus. Invalid fields will automatically be removed from your search criteria after running the Save Search in Prospector Plus. So what we'd absolutely love for you to do is just double check your saved searches. Make sure that you add any fields back that you need to ensure that you're pulling up the exact criteria you want for your saved searches. All right, let's take a look at one more. Will prospect searches copy to Prospector Plus? Very similar to saved searches, they will copy over and be viewable, including fields that are no longer valid in Prospector Plus. However, we want you to double check those and add any fields that you think might be pertinent to those searches, just to ensure that your clients see the properties that they're going to love. All right, so those were some of your frequently asked questions. If you get a chance, take a look at some of these others. They will absolutely help you as you navigate the Prospector Plus system.
Those are your Prospector Plus resources. Now I'm going to throw it back to the amazing Kristen Summer, and she's going to wrap up the presentation for us today.
All right. Well, thank you again, Melissa, for taking the time today to talk about Prospector Plus with us. We hope you guys are as excited as we are for the Prospector Plus transition. Whether you're searching, creating CMAs, or listing across boundaries, we hope that Prospector Plus expands your opportunities. If you guys have any questions that are lingering, please use this time to go ahead and get those to us so we can get them answered for you. And I will put some additional contact information up on the screen in just a moment. But before I end this presentation, I would like to take the time here to make a brief announcement, and that is that MetroList would like to welcome the Sutter-Yuba Association of Realtors to our family. Again, please join me in welcoming Sutter-Yuba Association of Realtors to the MetroList family.
And during the migration of bringing aboard Sutter-Yuba Association of Realtors, you will notice there will still be a single sign-on module available for Sutter-Yuba Association of Realtors until they're fully integrated into our Prospector Plus system.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you again for taking the time today to hang out with us, to learn about the new exciting Prospector Plus system. Melissa, do you want to say goodbye?
Bye now.
We miss you guys. We can't wait to see you in person one day. And again, thank you guys for your time. We'll see you at the next training. Take care.